You know, for once, random has actually given us Epsilon plays. I think yesterday in all the random games, nobody randomed into Epsilon. Meanwhile, Artanis is here randoming into Psycore and Headquarters. Right, in the top right, as the red Scorpion cell, sorry, it is Artanis, and residing in the bottom left as the orange Russia, we have QH. After the previous game, and considering the difference in all-field layouts on this one, Artanis shouldn't have too much problems keeping up with his economy, considering the gems are part of your starting all-field. So we should be able to see economic parity. Interesting choice from QH here, as he goes for Tesla reactor before ore refinery. Artanis obviously working on his ore refinery as of right now. Interesting call. Both players, standard infantry, standard dogs out towards escorting engineers to capture the various 6 assorted oil derricks on the map. Bloody hell, QH, how many dogs do you need? You may as well just answer yes on the form, although I think they're all on a rally point command rather than an attack move. Bloody hell. Yeah, Artanis has just cleaned up all of the dogs there from QH. He's only got a couple down here. That's about it. With an initiate kill team, I do believe everything is good to go. Oh, fuck. The good news is that's not going to come out in the recording of the match. We can now cross another bingo card off. Oh no, what have I done? Anyway, the triple team dog that did survive here, in fact, did take out the initiate and engineer escort team, denying Artanis a second oil derrick, technically third. The dog is even veteran. Server beats ever so slightly unstable. Playable. Ooh, sneaky dog up from there from QH, sniping that engineer. That's a good kill. All factories out for both players. TerraDrone and Tigger APC out coming out for QH. And Mantis tanks coming out from Artanis. Artanis' ore refinery placement. I'd have thought it'd be a bit hard to miss the gems, but okay, interesting. Artanis, you want to micro your ghost miner, please. Artanis, please. No, not like this. Not like this. Right. Anyway, Tigger APC is indeed out, being loaded with engineers. That'll be looking to capture this oil derrick over here in order to keep it secure from the initiates and the spooks. Around. There's a Salt Mantis tank out in the field. What's going to happen? Second refinery out from Artanis. And that 1 HP TerraDrone does in fact get the infect off. That is a dead Mantis tank, blowing it up due to friendly fire to kill the TerraDrone inside. Artanis now microing his miners to mine the gems. Very solid call there. Replacement Mantis tank out. In the meantime, fairly standard, we've got a bunch of war miners coming out for QH, putting 3 against Artanis' 2. So right now, Artanis looking to correct that discrepancy. Artanis moving out with his force, Tigger APC capturing the soil derrick here, and is going to move to capture Artanis' native oil derrick as well. It's a ballsy play, although I can see why he'd do for that. Most of the forces are over here moving away. Is it not loaded? I don't think that's loaded. That's just shooting it up to cause Artanis irritation, I should think. It's doing no damage, but it's something. Another TerraDrone out, looking to infect the Mantis tank again. He's seen it. Oh, wow! QH with these last-minute TerraDrone infections. Bloody hell, who doesn't love invincibility frames? That is a very dead Mantis tank. No friendly fire this time, meaning the TerraDrone comes out intact on 1 hit point. We do have tier 2 out, though, for QH versus Artanis. Okay, he's working on his Pandora hub as of now. He did capture the Yo-Yo Derrick in the end. It's a slow income increase, but it is an income increase nonetheless. Nuke reactor coming down, and an airbase out for coming out for QH. Foxtrots, interesting call here. Can't really fault it. There's not a lot of AA present at the moment. And Mantis tanks are exceptionally fragile. ChairGeneral getting a sneaky kill. Killing Bunny. And it's going to infect another Mantis tank. Artanis is seriously having some bad luck with the ChairGeneral today. You may want to start investing in a couple of repair stingers. Just to try and correct that. Pandora hub out for Artanis. Is that low power? That is not low power. Okay, he's building another radar spire though. That's really pushing it. Bloody hell. He only has power surplus of 1. Another Mantis tank gets infected and is destroyed to friendly fire. Both players playing it relatively passively. QH can probably force an engagement here. Especially as he's been able to keep the Mantis tank numbers down. But here comes everybody's be-all, end-all, the speeder trike. I think we may understand why QH went for the airfield in the first place. The airfield is Russia's only real solution to the speeder trike problem. Speeder trikes now being a speed 12 unit, rather than I think they were speed 10 like before. They're not targeting the speeders, rather they're targeting an Epsilon Adept. Yes, it's an Adept. And cleaning a few swoops as well, trying to stop Artanis from correcting this low power situation, but at the end of the day, he doesn't give a shit. Avoiding the AA blob in the middle there, which is taking covering. QH having made another MCV is probably going to be looking at to push towards this expansion field in the middle. Repair drone coming down, so we can make the second one. Essentially Rhino should they come on fire. We've got Gorillas coming out now in order to mop up any infantry. However, here are the speeder trikes. We've got a team of 4 speeder trikes here. Now the question is, what are they going to snipe? They start out by picking on a Rhino tank. They get too close, and one of them is already destroyed. That was not worth it. The damage to the Rhino tank, the MCV deploys, and we have Iron Curtain in the works here for QH. Just nail it in the coffin. Artanis suffering from really a bit of a chronic lack of forces here, but I can understand the lack of infantry production simply because the Foxtrots does have a sizable AA. The Foxtrots catch the speeder trikes unawares and unable to dodge, and all the speeder trikes on the field have been destroyed. Probably leaves QH with a large amount of freedom to move, and he's taking it. He's going to push forward, but he now retreats. Interesting one. QH could definitely force an engagement here and probably come out on top, especially with the force multipliers that are Volkov and Chitskoy. Puts a Sol Barracks down for the build radius and continues to push the MCV forward. Is QH going to deploy here? You can't really deploy it on this high ground here, there's no room for an MCV to deploy. It's only on these plateaus here. Gatling tanks abusing height advantages to try and take down a few conscripts. Volkov kicks off a chain stun. That is painful. 3 Gatling tanks and a single Mantis. We've got Iron Guard moving out here, trying to protect some armour. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of armour to protect in the first place. Forward Field Bureau. Get some shock troopers in there. Some extra pirates for the extra damage. Malva's on the field here. Now the question is, what are we going to do with Malva? The Malva deploys down, that nerfs all the attack and the armour, making Artanis' forces just that much more advantageous. However, will it be enough? Scourges here, honestly, I don't think that's the right call, but at the end of the day, that's probably all Artanis can make. Scourges are anti-armour. The AMP, they could stun Volkov, but that's not it. They've just too many conscripts. This guy is here, Volkov taking out one of the war factories with Ghost Runners in the queue. More Scourges out from Artanis, and he just doesn't have the anti-infantry AoE crowd control to clean up this mess. To just do their job of body blocking and absorbing fire. Which is quite one thing from the last of the infantry. Artanis depowered. I think this is game. It's a good Malva deploy, but Artanis just didn't have the AoE crowd control. That was it. I think Artanis just really needed viruses for that. There we go.